What is going on, Bengals fans? We got a little bit of breaking news coming your guys' way here on a Thursday. It has been reported that the Bengals defensive coordinator search is down to two candidates. Patrick Graham, who most recently was the defensive coordinator of the Las Vegas Raiders, and Al Golden, who currently is the defensive coordinator of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. We've done several videos discussing Zac Taylor's search for the next Bengals defensive coordinator, and we have spent a lot of time talking about those two candidates. Again, it has been reported that the Bengals DC search is down to two guys. I think they'll end up going with Al Golden, who I am very excited about, but we will see in the coming days when Zac Taylor makes an official decision. Coming up on today's show, we're going to be spending time talking about these two candidates, diving into them a little bit more in depth, and of course giving my own thoughts and opinions and analysis on them as well. So stick around for that, but before we hop into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you have not done so already, youtube.com/BengalsTV. When the Bengals do make an official hire, we will have another video for you guys detailing who exactly that is. And, of course, when Bengals breaking news happens, we've got you covered here at the channel. So hit that sub button. Help us out. Help yourself out. youtube.com/BengalsTV. Let's start here with Al Golden, who, of course, is the current defensive coordinator of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They are getting ready to play the Ohio State Buckeyes on Monday night in the national title game, which really is a massive game for Al Golden. He was the Bengals linebackers coach in 2020 and 2021. Of course, the Bengals went to the Super Bowl in 2021, and that linebacking core was really a strength of their defense and really a main reason why they were able to get to that point. And funnily enough, it was still Jermaine Pratt and Logan Wilson, albeit on rookie contracts, that were playing under Golden at the time. Good chance both those guys are still around for the Bengals if Golden does indeed come back as their DC. Golden is a very experienced guy, has a lot of experience at the collegiate level, and of course got his first taste of coaching in the NFL in 2016 with the Detroit Lions. Spent a couple of years in Cincinnati as the linebackers coach under Lou Anarumo, and now, of course, is the DC of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Talking about Al Golden, he was my second guy. He was kind of the 1B who I wanted going into this search. 1A for me was Aubrey Pleasant. 1B is Al Golden. So if the Bengals end up hiring Al Golden, I will be absolutely ecstatic about it. Why? Because the number one thing Cincinnati needs from their defensive coordinator is a guy that can develop young talent. With Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, maybe T. Higgins on the offensive side of the ball, the Bengals are always going to be spending their money on offense. They're always going to have a very youthful defense and need their DC to develop young talent. Lou Anarumo's scheme was great, and if you give him a bunch of veteran players, he's great, but he wasn't able to get the most out of the draft picks. I think Al Golden can do this. He's a great developer. We've seen him obviously coach at the collegiate level for a really long time and have success doing that. And if he is the DC of Cincinnati, he is going to be coaching young guys on the defensive side of the ball for a very, very long time. I am ecstatic about this. My gut tells me that they are going to end up going with Al Golden. Of course, that probably will not be official until after Monday night when Notre Dame plays in the national title game. Again, we will have a video if it is indeed is official. I'm really excited about Al Golden, and we're going to continue talking about him as we progress a little bit through today's show. But first, the pinned comment of today's video. Would you hire Al Golden as the Bengals DC? Type Y for yes, N for no. This is a total Y for me. Again, he was 1B for me going into this search. I would be over the moon happy if the Bengals did, in fact, hire Al Golden. Get down in the comments section. Let us know what you think. If that ad comes here on YouTube, totally fine. Take advantage of it. Get down in the comments and sound off for us. Next guy, of course, is Patrick Graham, who was the first guy that Zac Taylor interviewed for the Bengals DC position. Look, Graham's had a lot of success in the league. He's well respected around the league, but I think part of it was also just making sure that Rooney Rule got checked off for Zac Taylor when he interviewed Patrick Graham. Again, Graham most recently was the defensive coordinator for the Las Vegas. He was able to stick around during the Antonio Pierce regime. Things are kind of hanging in the balance with Graham at this point. He hasn't officially been let go of his duties with Vegas because they, of course, are searching for a new general manager and head coach. So he's kind of in limbo. He's gotten a lot of opportunities around the league. I believe the Jaguars interviewed him for his their head coaching position. So he's a guy that's really, really well respected. Now, I don't want to knock him too much, but because the Raiders' personnel just simply is not in a good spot. But these numbers for what they did defensively in 2024, not impressive whatsoever. I want a guy to come into this building that is kind of on a heater and has been having success and can hopefully bring that momentum into the Cincinnati Bengals. Patrick Graham, well-respected guy. Zac Taylor has a lot of love for him, but he's not exactly hot right now. Al Golden, what he's doing at Notre Dame, let's be very clear. If Notre Dame wasn't playing the way they were playing defensively, they would not be in this national title game. And Golden, of course, has the success in Cincinnati as well, is a familiar face. So to me, Golden is very clearly the better candidate between the two, but we will see what Zac Taylor ultimately decides to do. And keep in mind, Notre Dame goes out there, wins, beats Ohio State. Does Golden just going to want to stick around at that defensive coordinator spot for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish? We will see. But that right there is what Vegas has done defensively under Patrick Graham in 2024. We'll continue with our show here in a moment. But first, want to give a shout out to our friends over at Prize Picks because today's show is presented by Prize Picks. It's playoff time. It's now or never. Don't miss out on the last few weeks of football action with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the playoffs. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in over 30 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. Prize Picks is the best play to get real money sports action. Join over 10 million members and sign up today. They also invented the Flex Play over at Prize Picks, which means you can cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. This is what we are rolling with here at the Chat Sports offices for the batch of games this weekend. Going with the more than on Lamar Jackson rushing yards as well as the more than on Josh Allen rushing yards. Always good decisions to go with that, as both those QBs like to scamper from time to time, of course. And going with former Bengal Joe Dean Mixon getting into the end zone for Houston in their matchup on Saturday with the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, flex play, beautiful thing about that. Don't have to get all three correct. You can miss one and still have an opportunity to double your money. Also, Prize Picks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. So download the app today. Use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app. Use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. It's Prize Picks. Run your game. Want to spend some time talking about these two guys right here, Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt. Logan Wilson is one of my favorite players on the Cincinnati Bengals, but the past 2 years haven't been the best for him. I believe that he was banged up for the majority of 2024. Ultimately, it was too much, and you saw him miss the last few games. Didn't have the best year in 23 either, but he played his best football under Al Golden. So if Golden came back, there was a really good relationship there between Wilson and Al Golden. That other linebacker spot, Jermaine Pratt, certainly very interesting. We actually did I've talked about cut candidates before for the Cincinnati Bengals. Talked about that on our live show. That video will be out shortly in the near future. Jermaine Pratt certainly is at the top of that list, and I kind of was leaning on him getting cut. But Pratt played the best football of his career under Al Golden as well. So if Golden comes back, there is a good chance that the Bengals might actually hold on to Jermaine Pratt. Pratt, of course, was voted a team captain this year for Cincinnati in 2024. So with that connection there between Pratt and Golden, there's a good possibility that he could come back as well. Obviously, the focus for Golden was that linebacker spot when he was here in Cincinnati in 2020 and 2021, but the back end of that defense needs a lot of help as well. The entirety of their defense needs a lot of help when you're talking about what they can do on that side of the football. He's got to be able to develop this kind of talent. Cam Taylor-Britt, we'll see. I would imagine he's going to be back, but do you feel good about him as a starter? I really don't, to be honest with you. Josh Newton needs to be developed. There's a lot of talent there. Fifth-round rookie, started to play when some guys were banged up there. He started opposite CTB there at the end of the season. We'll see what Al Golden potentially could do with him. Or, of course, Patrick Graham if the Bengals end up going that direction. Mike Hilton, we'll see if the Bengals bring him back. Hilton, of course, is a free agent, has had a lot of success here in Cincinnati, but not sure Cincinnati wants to bring him back. Also, the interior of that defensive line. A lot of these guys might not be back, right? Sheldon Rankins feels like a surefire cut candidate for the Cincinnati Bengals. And B.J. Hill, not sure if he's going to be returning in Cincinnati. He is a free agent, so we might not see him back there as well. He's kind of getting up there in age. Bengals don't really love having guys on their defense when they are over that age of 30, and that's kind of where Hill is at right now. Again, the Bengals are always going to be youthful on the defensive side of the football. That's why they need to bring in a guy that really can develop that young talent. And from a pass rush perspective, we'll see if the Bengals end up moving off of Sam Hubbard. I think they're definitely going to at least have to restructure. There's no way they're going to let him be the 5th largest cap hit on the football team. Osai is a free agent. We'll see if they bring him back or not. So there's really a lot of uncertainty throughout this entire defense. They're going to have a lot of youth out there regardless of what they do in the offseason. It's going to be up to that new DC to really develop that talent. And I love the track history of Al Golden when it comes to developing young talent. Last opportunity for you guys to get involved with our show here at Bengals Breakdown. Who would you hire? Between these two finalists, it has been reported that the Bengals are down to Al Golden and Patrick Graham as their 2 finalists for their defensive coordinator position. Let me know which one you would hire. Type A for Al Golden or P for Patrick Graham. This is totally an A for me. It's a massive hire for Zac Taylor. I think if he goes with Al Golden, he hits it out of the park. I think if he goes with Patrick Graham, it's kind of a whiff, but we will see what he does. Regardless, let me know what you guys think down in the comments of today's show.